Social media is hurting your brain. Okay, I know, that's a huge statement. But here's the thing. It's not just some vague feeling you have.
I'm going to show you the proof. We're going to dive into the science behind it, unpack the business model that's actually profiting from all this, and look at the real, measurable impact it's having on every single one of us. So, first things first, let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works.
Right. To really get a handle on the effects, you have to understand the engine that's running in the background, the thing that's constantly curating your feed. I mean, have you ever stopped to wonder, how is what you see actually chosen for you?
Well, it all comes down to what you could call the attention machine. And the beating heart of that machine, it's the algorithm.
I mean, just think about it for a second. In what feels like the blink of an eye, maybe 15 years, these platforms went from being a fun little novelty to, well, for billions of us, a daily necessity. And for teens, oh man, usage has just gone through the roof. And that giant, captive audience, it became the perfect target for a whole new kind of machine.
And that machine, well, that's the recommendation algorithm. Its job is actually super simple. Just keep you on the platform. Keep you scrolling for as long as humanly possible. So here's the key thing you got to remember. It's not designed to make you happy. It's not designed to make you smarter. It's designed for one thing and one thing only, to capture and hold your attention.
So what keeps our attention locked in? Well, the data is just overwhelming on this. It's strong emotions. Things like outrage, shock, sensationalism. They are ridiculously effective at making us slam the brakes on our scrolling thumb and pay attention. And the algorithm, it learns that fast. So what does it do? It pushes more and more of that extreme content right into your feed.
Okay, so if this machine is basically feeding us a constant diet of emotional extremes, what's the cost? I mean, what's the actual impact on our mental health? Let's dig into the evidence.
And let's be really clear about this. This isn't some accident. It's not an unfortunate side effect. Your feed is quite literally designed to shape your mood. It can, and it does. And you know what? We've known this for a long time.
Yeah, we have solid proof. Get this. All the way back in 2012, Facebook ran this massive experiment. And what they did was they tweaked people's feeds to show them more negative posts. And guess what happened? Those same people started writing more negative posts themselves. They literally proved they could spread emotions through the platform. They even gave it a name, emotional contagion. And this leads directly to a behavior that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, doom scrolling. You know that feeling, right? That compulsive need to just keep swiping through an endless stream of bad news, even though it makes you feel absolutely terrible. And the research here is crystal clear. This habit is directly linked to higher anxiety, feelings of despair, and, yeah, really, really bad sleep.
It doesn't stop there. The connection gets even more serious when we start talking about the risk of depression. We're talking about multiple long-term studies that have found a really clear predictive link, especially for younger people.
And look, this isn't just a one-off thing, a snapshot in time. Major research published in the JAMA Network found that the more time kids spend on social media in their early teens, well, it actually predicts higher rates of depressive symptoms down the road. That's not a coincidence, folks. That's a pattern.
So why are teens so much more vulnerable to all of this? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Their brains are still developing, and they're basically hardwired for social validation, for feedback from their peers. So things like likes, comments, follows, they create this incredibly powerful and sometimes really volatile feedback loop. And the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has confirmed, yeah, the risks here are serious.
Okay, but you might be asking yourself, why? Why on earth would these platforms be designed this way? Why would they amplify negativity if they know it causes harm? Well, to get the answer, you just have to do one thing: follow the money.
This whole business model actually has a name. It's called surveillance capitalism. A scholar named Shoshana Zuboff came up with it, and it basically describes an economy that's built on one thing: capturing our personal data, creating these spookily accurate models of our behavior, and then selling predictions about what we'll do next to advertisers.
The core idea is both simple and, honestly, pretty chilling. You've probably heard the saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Well, this is what they mean. We aren't the customers here. Our attention, that's the raw material that gets mined, refined, and then sold to the real customers, the advertisers.
All right, I know. This all sounds incredibly grim, but it is not hopeless.
And that's the most important thing to remember here. You have agency. You have power. So let's switch gears and talk about exactly how you can take back control.
So here are 6 super practical things you can do, like today. First, use the app timers on your phone. They're built right in. Second, curate your feed. Be ruthless. Unfollow any account that makes you feel angry or just bad about yourself. Third, turn off those notifications. Seriously, every single one that isn't absolutely essential. Remember, those little red dots are designed to hijack your attention. Fourth, give yourself a cutoff time at night. No scrolling for at least an hour before bed. It's a game changer. Fifth, get your news from trusted sources directly, not from a random algorithmic feed. And finally, number 6, just knowing how this system works, what we're talking about right now. That's called digital literacy, and it dramatically reduces its power over you.
And look, you're not in this fight alone. On a much bigger scale, you've got researchers and even governments starting to push for real change. There are these growing demands for things like algorithmic transparency, forcing these companies to show us how the machine works. And new regulations are being considered that would prioritize our well-being over just raw engagement.
So here's the bottom line. The system is without a doubt designed to manipulate your attention. But, and this is a big but, you are not powerless against it. Not at all. Every single choice you make about how you engage with these tools, it matters. It really does.
Look, at the end of the day, these platforms aren't going anywhere. And they can be incredible tools, right? They can connect us, they can inform us, but they can also be traps that just drain our attention and drive us apart. Understanding how the machine works is the first, most crucial step to making sure these tools work for you, not against you. So the question is, which one is it going to be? Your feed can be a tool or it can be a trap. What are you going to choose today?